Welcome to the Papa Do Preach, the Dad Podcast, episode 3 with Matthew Hedgepeth of Fairway Mortgage.
Make sure to like,
subscribe,
and comment,
follow us wherever you get your podcasts, and go to YouTube for the most
everything.
Content. Yes, certain things do not translate well in audio and are only on YouTube.
Correct, like this.
Well, then how would they go to YouTube from, if they're only seeing this on YouTube, they'd have to be there already.
Huh.
Episode 3 with Matt Hedgepeth.
You got another gift?
It's not a gift. I have a piece for our set as a dad podcast.
Okay.
I felt like this was a must-have and something I looked for immediately.
It's like Christmas.
Huh?
Like Christmas time.
Very much like Christmas.
Ironic. Perfect. All right, what do we do? You want to like stick it right here and block Matt with it?
Yeah. I'm going to have this. This will be in the set on the next episode because I did not think it had as far as like a light bulb or anything like that.
It's a good thing we're not at my house where I have light bulbs.
I know, but then you got to walk away and come back.
You're right.
It's a grand award.
So.
Oh, that's perfect too. It's not massive. That's what. Never mind.
It's a good size. Manageable.
It's an acceptable size.
Above average. All right. So Matt, you got 2 kids.
I have 2 kids.
All right. Well, tell us about your first child, when you had him, how old you were.
I was 29 and he's 15. Mm-hmm. He was born in 2010, February 2010, so he'll be 15 in February.
Okay. What was he like? What can you tell us about him?
He's a lot taller than me. Well, not a lot, but he's taller than me. That's not hard to do though. He's a good kid. Good kid. Played baseball all of his life. Just recently kind of cut back on that to get a job. He wants to do some work now, apparently. Mm-hmm. But really good kid. Does good in school. Doesn't give us a lot of trouble yet. Knock on wood.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I'll do it for you.
When did I become an asshole?
Huh?
I'm trying to think of like when I became an asshole with my family.
Right, 6, 7.
Yeah, it was. I mean, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade were probably my worst years. I started realizing that people laughed when I was bad. So. Yeah. So what was he like through those middle school years? Now he's in high school. What was his middle school like?
Middle school was good. We didn't really. Everybody says our kids are changing in middle school. I mean, we didn't really have any issues. He started getting, I would say, a little more social in middle school. He's always been a quiet kid, which is ironic coming from me. Middle school was fine. Yeah. He just started going to public school for the first time this year, so that's been interesting.
How do you feel about that?
He loves it. The very first day of school, he came home. He said we had something funny happen in class today, and I was like, "Oh, really? What happened?" He's like, "Well, there's just one kid that was just talking nonstop while the teacher was trying to tell us, the syllabus or whatever, first day of school. And finally another kid had enough, and he was like, well, why don't you be quiet so we can hear? And the one that was talking said, well, why don't I come across this classroom and whip your ass? And I said, well, welcome to public school.
Yeah. Did he go to like a Christian private school before? Or
he did. So he started. So the reason behind that is his mom and I divorced when he was 3. Mm-hmm. So I was in Darlington. She was in Scranton. And we split time with him evenly. So we had to have him somewhere in the middle so we could both take him to school and drop him off from school. Yeah. So we put him in Florence, or at a private school in Florence. Mm-hmm. And then going into 7th grade, he met some kids playing baseball through the summer, playing All-Stars that were at a different private school. And he wanted to go there and play baseball there. And then he went 7th and 8th there and then started public school this year for 9th grade.
Nice. Yeah, my Katie, she started in private school, and then she just had her first year in public school, and it's like night and day difference for her.
Yeah. Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I think it was obviously different a little in the beginning, but he loves it. He wouldn't go back to private school now.
Yeah.
Or he wouldn't want to go back to private school.
It's good for the soul to be in public school too.
Yeah,
it's just like it gets you. It gets you.
I went to public school, but like my thought, like I want to put my kids through private school, my daughter through private school when she reaches that age, because like when push comes to shove, I want to be able to say like, I pay you. This is not going to be the decisions you make with my child.
Yeah, I mean that part makes sense, but man, you see all the stuff going on with the private school kids, man. They're the ones that are the older they get, they're the ones that become the problem.
There is some truth. That's like a cliche saying, but there's some truth to that.
Who specifically? What kids are the worst? Give me their names.
No, it's just like I mean, this is obviously my personal opinion, but it's like that sense of entitlement. Like, oh, my parents do this, and like I can't imagine having gone to private school. Like, I just feel like public school is just like we're all on the same playing field.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like though you could certainly raise them around that, like to make sure that they don't feel a sense of entitlement. That's one of my biggest fears.
Right, your children, you could do that, but some people don't do that, and those are the kids that when I was growing up, and we had like you always had the public school kids and the private school kids always met at like football games and things like that.
Yeah, same.
Private school kids were the troublemakers, man.
That's true. Yeah. Me, I'm a lot older than you. Me and Tom and I are about the same age, and that was true when I was in school.
Yeah, I don't think it's changed much.
I mean, we all got along, but there was a difference. I feel like in, I don't know what
dress.
Yeah.
Their attire.
Yeah, just like you said, I think there is some entitlement there.
Yeah, I mean, so when I lived in Jersey, there was like 3 high schools in the same area. One was like a vocational technical school, one was like a public high school, and then the other one was a Catholic school. And the Catholic school girls are definitely the worst ones.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. But
yeah, I'm serious. Like public school kids is like, it's like the equivalent of being like in the middle class. You just making it.
Yeah, but
they're trying not to screw up.
That's all of us now.
But the public schools I went to were the worst too. So, but anyway, so this is, how long now has he been going to a public school?
This was his first year.
And so that's just finished, right? An entire year of it?
He just got done.
Did you feel any difference in how the teachers communicated with you? Like, what am I worrying about? Nothing, basically?
I personally, I felt like they communicated more than they did in the private school setting.
Okay.
Honestly.
What, did you have any disagreements on what was going to be taught to your kids?
No.
Yeah.
Not disagreements. There were challenges with like us because things are totally different now than when we were in school.
Yeah, I heard there's a new math.
Yeah, Common Core.
Yeah. There's nothing common about
it. They just, I feel like they've made it harder. I mean, their intent is to make it simpler for kids to understand, but they've made it so much harder because now they can't get any help from home.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we don't know how to do that.
No.
I definitely don't know how to do it.
My dad helps my nephews with their homework, and he wrote on one of their assignments, I am a mathematician and an engineer. This makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
And he told him to hand that to the teacher.
It doesn't, though.
No. I haven't looked at it yet.
They'll get different, like, subtraction answers than if you do it the proper way. If you do it the way we were taught, 61 minus 31 should be 30.
How do you not...
Dude, I promise you there's a way for them to find a different answer.
But then it's called the incorrect answer, right?
It should be.
Why wouldn't it be anything but incorrect?
I don't know. But I've had my kids come home multiple times and bring homework, and math was my strong subject. And
that was my strong side. Yeah, musician. You play music, you go to math. You just used to.
I feel so stupid every time they bring something.
That was not my best subject, but I mean, I can do basic math the way that we grew up doing basic math. But
it's
now,
math.
But they can't do basic math anymore.
No,
that's what. That's,
numbers don't lie. That was the whole thing. Numbers don't lie.
They'll take a simple problem now, and it's an entire page to figure out.
Oh my God! If that's just not like
you
a
just
reflection of society.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So they're making shit more difficult for no particular reason whatsoever.
Yes.
Correct.
And arguing with you if you will not do it the more difficult way.
Exactly.
Correct. That's right.
All right.
Prepare yourself though, because I promise you, Common Core math is coming and it's going to punch you straight in the face, and you're going to be so confused.
This might not be popular, but I'm not too big on education. Like it depends on what my daughter wants to do.
Yeah.
So, what's your son's name?
Tanner.
Tanner. Does Tanner know what he wants to do yet? I know that's rough at 15 to think of that.
He knows what he doesn't want to do.
Math?
Math. Math is number one. Yeah, I didn't know that. He doesn't want to sit at a desk. Like, he wants to do something, I guess you would call vocational. Mm-hmm. He wants to weld or work on HVAC units, things like that.
There you go. So, I don't want to say anything that he's going to listen to and cause problems for you at home, but if it was my kid, I'd be like, go to school, pass, and go to the technical school and be good at that.
Yeah.
Because all high school is for is that you can learn to show up to a place on time and understand that people are going to have to tell you what to do in life, and there's really no point in arguing with them.
It's totally up to them to succeed if they want to succeed, and it takes just a good work ethic.
Yeah, like I've literally passed a 10th grade nothing. I was on my 4th year of high school and still in 10th grade classes. I never passed a 9th grade science class. I was still in a 9th grade science class. And I was just like, this is ridiculous, and I got a GED. And I'm doing okay. You know, I'm able to keep my family alive. We're a single income home. Yeah. I own a house, rental properties, car payments.
Yeah.
Figured it out, man.
What I wanted to do, the education was not necessary for. And being in real estate, seeing how many people are crippled from student loans, I'm getting further and further away from like caring about what education my kid gets. You know, a great thing I heard was formal education will make you a living, and that's a good thing, but self-education will make you wealthy, and that's a great thing.
Yes.
I'd rather have somebody who is interested in looking things up and learning for it themselves than interested in getting the best grades in high school.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a perception thing too, because the era that you're not that much younger than us, the era that we grew up in was you have to go to college.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'm purposely exaggerating, but it was kind of like you got to go to college or your life is over.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how we grew up. And now we see in the I guess the age of technology, or as things have progressed, college has gotten more expensive. It's not for everybody. There's so many different avenues to make not just a living, like a good living. I mean, a really good living that don't involve school at all.
I think the ability to have like online classes now too, to where you can still kind of get portions of that.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to full out. 4-year college and graduate school and all that to get where you need to be, to just get enough experience. Because I mean, at the end of the day, what do they always ask you when you're at a job interview? They want job experience, but you can't get job experience because you have to have a degree. So you get the degree to get the job, but you can't get the job because you don't have the experience, because
it's all backwards.
It's this vicious
I've
cycle.
already lost you on this.
Yeah, no, but that's how it is.
Yeah, I couldn't follow that.
It's a circle of chasing your own tail. They require this, and this, but you can't do this without this.
I would go as far as to say, unless you're doing something very specific in a 4-year institution.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no point, and I have a 4-year business degree, but there's no point in going to get a 4-year business degree. You're not going to do anything with that.
Yeah, like scientific backgrounds and things like working at like Thermo Fisher, and some of those places. That makes a little more sense. But
things that are technical, obviously, if you go into something medical or be a lawyer, those are different kind of things.
Yeah, I kind of want them to go to college.
Yeah.
I want my doctor to have a degree
and do well.
Yes, and like to speak on the online. If I was in a position where I was hiring people, which I don't ever want to be in that position. I hate managing people, but I would be, I think, more impressed by somebody who went to an online college, because you're self-motivating. You're the one who has to actually open up the computer and take the class.
Yeah.
I guess you got to show up at class anyway, but I just feel like it shows a little more initiative if you're the one that's sitting there and doing the studies and, not socializing.
Making your own notes based on what you were reading, so you have to form your own assessment of everything completely.
And it's weird. Like, online college was almost a joke when it first came out. What was it? The Arizona State was Was that the first big one that they made fun of on skits and stuff?
There was one that was really popular, but I can't think of like
New Hampshire was
maybe that's University. Yeah,
something like that.
New Hampshire University or something like that.
Yeah. So, but
Phoenix. That's what it was.
Phoenix, Arizona. I was close.
Phoenix.
Yes.
It's Phoenix. Phoenix. That's right. You're right. University of Phoenix.
Yep.
That's it.
All right. Good. We got there.
Yeah.
So
that was that would have been like a sneeze that we couldn't have got out if we would have bypassed that.
Well, all right. So Tanner, he wants to do something with the technical, basically something physical.
Yeah.
So, well,
at least right now. I mean, who knows what they want to do when they're 15? But that's what his plan is for right now.
Yeah. I had no idea what I wanted to do then.
No, me either.
Zero.
All right. And now, how far apart in age are your kids?
So 11 years.
11 years.
He's 15, and my little girl is 3.
Okay. So, and we had a daughter at roughly the same time period, pretty close to each other. Well, your daughter will be 4 when?
In September.
September? All right. So my daughter's almost a year younger. July, she'll be 3. Okay. September, your daughter turns 4. I find this really interesting to talk about because you went through some challenges when your daughter was born.
Yeah.
Now, was she born completely deaf? Is that correct, or has?
Yeah. So the term the medical diagnosis they use is severe to profoundly deaf, which is essentially she can't hear anything.
Okay.
They said maybe like a fire truck going by right by her head, but as far as like normal everyday speech type things, no, or normal everyday noises, no.
So, when did you guys start to notice that was an issue?
So they told us at the hospital, they tested her at the hospital and said that, I don't know how you test a newborn, but I guess medical technology, but they said that they didn't think she could hear, but that it was very rare for a child to be born hearing impaired, and that most likely, they can get fluid in their ears in the birth canal and things like that. So they said, come back in 2 weeks. We came back in 2 weeks. She failed it again. They said, come back at 8 weeks. And we went to a different, they referred us somewhere at 8 weeks. Mm-hmm. And they also said that she couldn't hear. They were like, well, it could still be, fluid in the ears. And we're like, at 8 weeks, that's a long time. So we weren't comfortable with that answer, and we called MUSC in Charleston ourselves and got an appointment and went within the next week or so. So she was about 9 weeks old when they confirmed in Charleston that she couldn't hear.
I can't imagine. Right?
Yeah, it was rough in the beginning.
Yeah, what were your? I mean, do you think you immediately went into how do we fix this, or was there an oh my god, what is her life going to be like? Period. What did you feel first?
I think the shock, if you want to use that word, or you just said, what does that mean from here? Because then your mind starts racing, and you're thinking, is she going to be able to talk? Is there a way she's going to be able to hear? Is she going to, what's her speech going to be? Just so many different questions. And when something like that happens, they put you in the different state people come in, liaisons and different resources, and they give you all this literature and set you up with all these different organizations to kind of help you learn about it. But there was definitely a I almost want to say grief factor in the beginning.
Yeah, that's basically what I was describing when I was thinking oh my god, what is her life going to be like? And I kind of thought the way I started this was almost a little insensitive, an interesting topic. I find it interesting because Matt found a solution, and that's what I really want to talk about. But I still want to walk through this a little bit. Yeah. Right.
And I will say, looking back, it was difficult for me, obviously, but it weighed more on my wife. Because I think, I was 29 when my son was born, which is not her son, that's her stepson.
Yeah.
And we were 40 when our little girl was born, and my wife had always wanted a baby. And I think she kind of went through, just the emotions of, why me? Why because they were, and I say they, the medical professionals, and obviously, they tell you what they can. But they were very adamant that while we were going through that testing, we're sure it's not that she can't hear. It's very, very rare. So I think my wife was kind of playing that stuff back in her head during that time and thinking, why her? Why me? Why us?
Yeah.
Whereas I think I moved through it a little bit faster and got to that point that you were just talking about, focused on,
what do we do?
What do we do? What are next steps? Well, how do we get to that point? And I think it took her a little bit longer to get to that place, which is, understandable.
Yeah.
But I mean, that is where it led. Okay, what is the plan? What are our options? What can we do?
You kind of went through the, I guess, grief phase we could talk about, and now you're coming through the what is the plan? How do we fix this? Or at least have the best quality of life for our daughter.
Right.
What did you do first?
Well, the first step of the plan from what they gave us was she had to get an MRI, or they scheduled us for an MRI for when she was 6 months, because they won't put a child to sleep sooner than 6 months, and they have to put them to sleep to do the MRI. Basically what they told us was if the anatomy of her ear, meaning everything inside, was intact like it was supposed to be, and because let me back up. Sometimes they said sometimes children can't hear, or people can't hear because they're missing something in their anatomy of their ear. Okay. If that's the case, then sign language would be her primary form of communication for the rest of her life.
All right.
So the MRI scan was to see, is the anatomy intact, and if it is, then she can get cochlear implants.
Okay, so that was a thank God moment. How long from when she had the MRI until you knew that the anatomy was intact?
MRI,
you said, right?
They let us know almost immediately, but I'm glad you brought that up. The waiting period was from, we heard that at day one at MUSC in Charleston, which was around 8 or 9 weeks. So we went from around 8 or 9 weeks old to 6 months, not knowing, if she was going to be a candidate to get the cochlear implants.
Okay.
So that was several months of waiting. And then once we got the MRI, it was within a couple of days. They let us know everything was intact and she would be a candidate for the surgery. All
right. So what is that surgery called again?
It's called a cochlear implant surgery.
Cochlear implant surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And how old was she? All right. So 6 months she was able to have the MRI.
Yes.
And you found out basically immediately that she was a candidate for it.
Yes.
All right. Now, what else had to be done? Were there extra tests before they could say if we can go through with the surgery or not? Or was it any kid who's intact can have the surgery?
Yeah, it was pretty much, once they had the MRI, they knew that, and at that point she'd also been put to sleep as well. So they knew that she could get it done at that point.
Okay.
Because essentially, if the MRI results were not favorable, then the cochlear implants wouldn't be any good. It wouldn't help her hear.
All right. How long until she had the surgery?
So at the time, and they may have changed this now because it's almost 3 years ago, the regulation on it was 9 months. Mm-hmm. But they can only do one at a time because it's about a 3-hour surgery, and they don't want a 9-month-old asleep for 6 hours. So she got implanted at 9 months, recovered from that for about 30 days, and then she got implanted on the second ear at 10 months.
It's so hard to hear this and not think about picturing like your 9-month-old kid being, put to sleep for a surgery.
Yeah, 3 times by the time she was 10 months old. And wow. It's kind of, I don't know if the word is invasive, but when you hear it as like essentially what it is, they cut you behind your ear. They drill a hole in your skull.
Sounds invasive.
They basically, what happens is there's an internal part of a processor that's a magnet. It goes up here.
Right.
So that magnet is under your skin, between your skull and your skin. The wire runs down that goes through the hole that they drilled in your skull down to your cochlear nerve, which is where, and I was, a lot of people had heard of those before. I was ignorant to it. I'd never heard of that.
Yeah, me neither.
So that's why they're called cochlear implants. So that wire goes down to your cochlear nerve, which then is what sends signal to your brain, or the signal of sound to your brain. And then there's an external piece as well that goes on her.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So there's an external processor, like a magnet. You put it close enough, it just sticks right on.
Yeah.
So, Now, does this affect, because MRIs run on magnets too, does this affect her ability to be able to have these tests for the rest of her life?
That's a good question. She has like I don't know if it's called a medical alert. It's been a few years now. She has something she keeps with her.
Like if you have a pacemaker, they need to know that.
Yeah, so she can get it done, but there's a certain way they have to do it, being that she has those magnets.
Good, at least you can still get that done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, last question on this subject, like, one, that's incredible, and really quickly, if a parent was going through this, what would be the first place you tell them to look to kind of research?
Honestly, YouTube or Google.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot. You'll find different forums and groups of people that have been through, something similar or have kids in similar situations. And like I said, we're almost 3 years post surgery now, or coming up on 3 years post surgery, and she talks as good as we do.
That's incredible.
She talks like a regular 3 year-old, I guess.
I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, she talks like a normal
really
3-year-old.
So about as good as you.
Yeah. When you were waiting to find out from like 8 weeks to 6 months if she'd even be a candidate, did you guys start researching if she's not? What are we going to do? Or were you just like, let's figure this out first?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. We kind of started, or not kind of, we started learning some sign language.
Yeah.
Just basic things, which were things that we were going to need to communicate with her anyway when she doesn't have them on. So like if she's, basically they can't get wet unless she has this little waterproof thing that she can swim
like
with.
A mogwai.
Yeah. Yeah. So she has them
inappropriate
on.
time.
Is that Gremlins?
Yeah.
All right.
So she has them on unless she's sleeping or taking a bath.
Okay.
So what they told us was she needed to wear them 80% of the time that she was awake to learn normal speech. And every time we go for a checkup, which now is thankfully is only like once a year, once every 6 months, she's wearing hers like 94 or 95% of the time that she's awake.
What do you do about rain? What preparation? Just a hat is enough, or do you just take them off if there's any?
Yeah, a hat, or if we're just kind of running in and out of the house or in and out of daycare, we'll just take them. We'll just tell her we're going to. She calls them her ears. We'll say we're going to take your ears off, and just say okay. And when you get out of the rain, she'll say, "Put my ears back on."
Yeah,
that's so sweet, though.
Like I mean, it's weird that, not weird, but it's crazy how like she made the correlation very young that if I want to hear, I've got to have, and sometimes they'll fall off and she'll reach around and just pop it back up there.
Yeah,
it's so crazy. Harper is 2 right now, and she's got like a little cyst, and I'm over here. Me and my wife are stressing about her going under to have a little cyst removed, and I can't even imagine.
The technology is so wild now too. Like we can Bluetooth into them. It'll tell you if both of them are working, what percentage battery they have. When she gets of school age and she's actually in a classroom, there's a little microphone that the teacher can wear that Bluetooths into her devices. That's really kind of the only, if you want to say downside or negative thing that they told us, is if she's in a big, like there's a bunch of people talking. Mm-hmm. There's a ton of people, just like if she's in a big crowded room or something, it might be harder for her to hear.
So it's like being over 40.
Yeah. Basically. She's got the hearing of a 40-year-old. Yeah. So that's why the microphone thing comes in for school. But other than that, and the other cool thing is, like if you hear her talk, she has a very southern.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I mean, the funny thing is, I ask, I don't know where she gets it from. So I asked a guy. There's a guy in Florence. His daughter was born the same way, and when we first kind of found out that Everly couldn't hear, we were at this little. It's called South Carolina Hands and Voices. It's for kids that are hearing impaired. I asked him. I said, well, how do we know, or how do you know that she's hearing the way that we hear? Because, and come to find out through research, they don't to start with. It's very robotic. Yeah. And then as time goes on, your brain gets more and more used to the way that the sound is coming through. But this little girl is like 8 now. At the time, she was probably 6. And he said, oh, she hears like we hear. And he said, Everly will get to that point too. And I said, well, how do you know? And he's like, listen to her talk.
Yeah.
And I was like, immediately, it's like a light bulb. I said, well, you're right.
That's why I was just like, oh.
Because she sounds like she's from South Carolina too, and my little girl's the same way. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even consider that.
So basically, your brain is able to just piece together the puzzle pieces over time
and
to make sense of it.
From my understanding, where they got that knowledge from was that once this cochlear implant technology came out, older people were getting implanted that maybe had lost hearing over time, or maybe their hearing aids weren't working anymore. Yeah. And that's where they gathered the research, is from the older people saying, at day one, it's very robotic. 6 months, it's more normal, and just getting that research over time. Yeah.
I wonder if, when we said the hearing of a 40-year-old made me think, like, will your hearing still deteriorate over time like our ears do? Or is because this is done from an implant like that, it's going to basically just be the same?
I don't know.
I think it would be the same.
Yeah.
From my research and what I've looked up, I think it would be the same. Now, I don't...
Matt guarantees it will be the same.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, put my stamp
That's what
on
he
it.
said.
But I don't think. I think by the time she's our age, I'm sure she'll probably have something different. I mean, the way that it is in its current form is crazy enough. They'll come up with something else in another 30 years, 40 years.
Yeah. True. Just like, when did this technology start? Do you know?
It's been around. When I looked it up the last time, it's fairly recent, last 20 years or so.
So it'll definitely advance rapidly.
Yeah.
Well, they've already got those like bone density, like headphones and things like that basically send vibrations through your temple, which vibrates down to your ears, so you can hear. My dad's got a set of them, and
it's crazy.
It's like somehow people on the outside can't hear it, but it's like reverberating through your head to where your ears can hear it.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. Well, that was actually really interesting. It's going to be hard to top that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you did say this for Jake, that when Cameron was here, we were talking about our relations and just our relationships with him, and you said that's why we're the most excited to have you on. Does that mean you're less excited to have Matt on?
I mean, that's what I would assume.
First of all, I hadn't had the confirmed guest list of what was after
You can't
Cameron.
be above. So then you actually are more excited.
I was
for
more
Matt
excited to have Cameron as the first guest because
that
he's
is the whole
wild
sentence
card.
of what he said.
Yes.
So, I guess this might become a bit of a tradition of ours. Finding out about when you found out you were going to be a dad. It could be the first time, second time, both times. You've got 50 words or less.
Okay.
No.
I can handle that. I think
that's too long.
Why would I look at my watch to talk about? You have 50 words.
That's okay.
I was expecting 50 seconds, and you said words, and I got really confused.
On the last episode, you said let's take a break for an hour and a half, and I said, all right. I don't even have a watch.
No, I think both times I think it was kind of a shock.
29. You were probably the only one who was at a normal age so far that we've talked to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 29 for my first one. It was surprising, but happy about it.
Yeah.
39 when we found out we were going to have my little girl. I think it was a little scarier for me with my daughter, just because I knew we were a little bit quote unquote older, but still excited about it. Very excited about it. We were trying to have a baby and didn't know if we were going to be able to, but exciting both times. Interesting thing. So my dad was 48 when I was born, and I tell people now that I'm 40, almost 44 with a toddler. I'm like, I get why my dad just sat there and chilled. He was tired.
Yeah.
I get it now. I always wondered why he wasn't up doing more or he did plenty with me, but he kind of just sat in his chair when he wasn't working and hung out, didn't do a whole lot. And now I'm like, okay, well, you're 48 with a newborn. I'm 44, 43.
It's hard to run around with one foot in the grave.
Yeah, now that's right. Now I understand it.
I really put a lot into just getting in shape and health this year, because like last Halloween, I destroyed my back picking my daughter up and putting her down 30-something times around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And it was bad for like 2 weeks, really bad, and like then I wasn't exercising for a while. That's something that I want to start fitting into the show too, like
fitness.
Yeah.
You want to start fitting the fitness in?
Yeah. I know you're editing yourself.
Yep.
I saw a T-shirt at the gym that said it's not a dad bod, it's a father figure, which I thought was funny, and I thought could be a good idea for a segment and just
Circles
talk about
or shapes.
Yes. But I do. I would like to make that a part of our show too, because I want to be running around with my daughter when she's 10, 11, 12. And like, you know, and I'm pushing 60. How old am I going to be? Jesus. So,
it kind of makes you like, it started recently making me think, you know, because I'm like, hey, she's 3. What about when she's 10?
I'm going to edit a light bulb above your head when you say that.
When I try to figure out how old I'm going to be. Yeah, you should definitely make it like flash like neon and have like go out of power.
Well, I definitely want to talk about fitness because, like, clearly I work out all the time. I'm in great shape.
Yeah. I mean, do you just, like, burn 7,000 calories a day?
7 times a day.
You 7 times a day?
Probably.
Oh, you know what? All right,
that's why you're so skinny.
Dude, it doesn't stay. I think it's metabolism, but I don't know. But it's like...
super high metabolism.
Dude, it's like a bullet train. I mean, tacos go in, tacos fly out.
We have
potato chips.
You might want to see a doctor.
Potato chips fly out.
We have we're derailing his story, but this brings me.
I'm sorry.
No, but I want to, because we're on this subject. I feel like we should be asking every dad, what are your fart jokes in front of your kids? So, like my dad, every time he'd fart, he'd be like, "Is that a barking spider?"
Yup.
Was that a duck?
I've never heard that one actually. I like that.
Was that a duck? Right. When I fart, my daughter looks at me. I go, "That was you."
Yeah.
And she's like, "No." Yeah. So that's like a dad staple. What do you do?
Mine, I always blame Sam.
Do you blame your wife?
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
Well, with the 2 different ages, it depends. With my young one, she'll look at me, and I'll look at her and I'll say, "Did you poop poop?" She said, "No, you poop poop." So with my older one, I'll just kind of
the same thing.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I go, "Did you your pants?"
Yeah. So with my older one, like if I do it and he's close, I'll walk. I'm like, "Really, Tanner? Why would you do that?" And then he kind of turns away and gets all irritated.
You don't like walk in front of him and just find a reason to like pick something up and just fan it in his face?
Occasionally.
All right.
He'll kind of turn and run off.
Yes.
I don't know why.
We got to workshop segment ideas for this question.
I'm
like,
sad I don't have more to add because I guarantee when my kids come out here, they're going to tell you how much I fart around the house, and it's just like upsetting.
This is a good question for who's your daddy and what does he do. We can ask about how you're going to passing gas habits.
I've like almost made my kids sick.
Really?
Times. Oh yeah, dude. There's a couple that I've been told that it smells like the salty ocean.
All right. So I've never met anyone. All right, farts. I've never met anybody who, besides me, I still do not fart around my wife.
I know some people like that.
Well, all right. I can give that courtesy to a stranger. Why can't I give that courtesy to my wife? And plus, I would like her to look at me in a certain way that might be utterly destroyed if she smells some of my farts.
I'll be honest with you. You can ask Sam too. I was like almost begging her, of like, dude, will you like just let your guard down and just fart in front of me? Because it took all of like 5 days. I'm like ripping them out. Like when we started
5
dating,
days in,
probably.
She's like, trying to chase her away?
No, I just was being honest. I fart a lot. My car, thank God that the seats are leather and it doesn't soak in.
Oh, your kids have pink eye.
But the kids don't even want to ride in the 4Runner because they say it stinks.
It smells like it's just burnt into the seats. Jake's ass.
It's leather. I thought that leather would repel it, but it does not. Apparently.
Oh wait,
does leather hold in farts longer than other fabrics?
Maybe.
Let us know in the comments.
Leather.
Yeah,
and they still don't want. If you've sunk it into the leather, that's you might want to call somebody. That's pretty. I mean,
I've gone to the doctor and they've just basically told me it's not.
Said never come back.
We don't have an answer.
Well, the doctor passed out while I was in there.
Yeah,
so.
They don't pay me enough for this.
No, but it'll come up again. I promise. That'll be one of the first things you're gonna say. What do you?
So you're gonna be a dad. What happened next?
Yeah.
I just smacked the mic.
I heard it.
Just I think kind of realizing I'm going to be a dad again. I definitely was, like I said, I was more scared the second time because I'm old now.
Yeah.
Am I going to be able to keep up? Am I still going to remember what to do? And I didn't. I didn't know what to do. I forgot everything.
Yeah.
Over the course of, at the time, 11 years. It's like riding a bicycle. It comes back.
I mean, you have 15 kids. Like, they're all different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took us a bit to get back in the swing of things, and I think the difference between So for me, from Katie to Harper is only 5 years. So I can't. So 11 years would be like trying to go back and learn high school math.
I mean, I was essentially a brand new parent again. As funny as that sounds, after 11 years, I mean.
Was there a party that was like, oh, shit, I thought I was out of this? Like,
no, I don't think that hit until we got to 2 or 3.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. My sister kind of did that. She had her third son is much younger than the other two. She was, I don't know. I think there's always like a party that might feel that way, but it's not like you're ever unhappy having a kid come.
Right.
Like it's awesome.
It's like the hardest, most rewarding thing.
That's just we talked about this in the first episode. That's a law of nature. Every opportunity has an equal and opposite challenge attached to it.
Yeah.
The better the opportunity.
I love that saying too, by the way. Yeah. That was the first time I'd heard it when you said that, but it's so.
I forget which book I heard it from, but I listened to a lot of self-help bullshit. So,
you try that myself.
Yeah. So, do you want to do This Week in Dadding? You got something for us? This Week in Dadding, we went. We had a doctor's appointment and we had to take Amelia with us. And I talked a little bit about this because we were supposed to go to a client dinner, which were personal friends of mine that were clients. Brian, also a client of yours, was one of them. And my wife and daughter were going to come, and I had said to you that she'd act like a drunken pirate all day, so we decided not to bring her. Like, we weren't going to subject my friends, the restaurant, or us to that. And I did a little research. I wasn't sure if that was the right, I guess, is analogy the right word, a drunken pirate? Or is that a simile she acted like?
Like is simile. Like her ass is a simile.
So it would be a metaphor?
Yeah, I don't know. So I researched. The first question I asked Google is, what was the name of Genghis Khan's army? So she was very much like a Mongol horde.
A Mongol horde?
Horde? Horde? There's no accent mark.
I've never heard that one.
Well, it's good she's not a Mongoloid because that's definitely very insulting.
Genghis Khan's army was commonly known as the Mongol Army or the Mongol Horde. It was also known as the Mongol Empire's military force.
Mongoloids. That's where that comes
Your brother's texting me right now. I should be working.
You tell him to off.
His brother said off.
And God, I hate my phone. All right, so
you hate Jared?
Yeah, I hate my phone.
Did you hear that, Jared?
And then I was also curious. I was trying to find something that really fit her. What native tribes practice cannibalism? The Anazi.
The Green Inferno. Isn't that?
Aztecs were one of them. Oh. She could have been an Aztec.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I know. I thought they were so cuddly. Not the Aztecs. That's so disappointing. Tonkawa.
What is happening? How are we trailing off this far?
So this is what I was looking at in the doctor's office in the entire day. Like, anything we told her to do, we tried to create boundaries in there. Okay, if we're going to put you down, but you can't go past this, stop ripping up in the brochures. She was making the worst paper airplanes out of every brochure and then throwing them.
So where did the cannibals come in? How did we get there?
Cannibalistic behavior. She was.
Okay.
Yeah. She was just.
I thought maybe you might have been threatening her.
No. I was trying to think of like what analogy best described her. Was she a drunk pirate? Was she the Mongol army? Was she a cannibal? Which one was she? She was all three of them.
Gotcha.
Have you heard of the Aztecs?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, and I was very disappointed when I heard about the Aztecs. So, all right. So a cute story though is my wife went into the restroom and at a certain point she goes, "Where's mommy?" I go, "Mommy's in the bathroom," and really loud in the waiting room. She goes, "Mommy's got to poop."
Yes.
There you go.
What about you?
This week in Daddy?
Anything interesting to happen?
No, my daughter's kind of been in tantrum mode always. It's like a week-long tantrum. I don't.
Just a week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, well,
we're going on 12 months.
I'm working on a month 4 of a different child.
Well, I mean, we're starting at a week. I mean, we'll check back a month from now.
Yeah.
Let you know
Yeah,
how
we're
it
12
goes.
months in on a tantrum right now.
Yeah. Well, being technical, we're probably 6 months in on a tantrum. It's. Everyone told me 3 was going to be worse than 2. And
Nope.
I thought they were wrong. It is for us. Our 3 has been bad. Your 3 was better than 2?
My 3 was better than 2 for Katie, but right now Harpy's 2, and she's going through that sleep regression.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which means when she doesn't take a nap during the day, she's an Aztec.
It's nuts. And you
Ours
just think
won't
they
go
go
to
to bed
sleep.
earlier? Sleep better at night?
Oh, ours won't go to sleep. She doesn't get tired until like 10:30 at night. Doesn't matter what you do.
That.
Yeah. Yeah.
Harp's on this weird, like, she doesn't start slowing down until about 9.
See?
So
There
we've
you go.
started to, we're trying to get her off the bottle, but it's also the only thing that prevents her from being an absolute
Well, what do you
crazy
put
person.
in the bottle?
Just whiskey.
Okay.
No.
Nothing too hard.
Yeah, nothing too crazy.
Evan Williams.
Well, that's about right. Yeah, ours probably starts winding down at 9 too, and by the time she winds down
She's-
and actually gets to sleep, it's 10 or 10:30.
She starts winding down at like 7:50 is when we give her a bottle and we chill on the couch with her and we watch like Our Planet or Planet Earth or nature stuff that's not like super engaging but is kind of calming.
Dude, I just drop her in the crib and yell, "Shut up."
It's gonna go away where she's gonna
Nah.
be like walking around going, "Dad, no."
Oh my god!
No sleep.
when the crib's gone, because she doesn't fall asleep. Like we put her in at 8 o'clock, which is a moving target. We try for 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
But and then we hear on the monitor her just like having full blown gibberish conversations
Yep.
for like an hour. There's times
So
I
funny.
fall asleep before she does. Often, actually.
And then you look at the monitor because it's like black and white. It's that night vision. You see all those orbs going. And you're like, she's talking to a fucking ghost, dude.
Yeah, I don't look at the monitor.
Dude, you don't do anything.
It's not my
He
jurisdiction.
talking about he don't change the diaper. He don't.
Nah, I change diapers.
bathe. He
I
doesn't
do
look at the
bed.
monitor.
I'm
He's
not
like,
che- I'm
once
not
I put her
checking that
down,
monitor.
I'm wiping my
I'm
hands.
not checking that
I'm
monitor.
not checking that monitor. I'm not going to do it.
She's gonna be fine. There's nothing in there that's dangerous. So
That's when ours started going downhill. When she got where she could, I say going downhill sounds terrible. When the sleep when the sleep issue started
she's
going,
pizza already.
yeah, when the sleep issue started going downhill, it's when she could climb out of the crib. That's when it.
That's where we are.
Because until then, just like you said, the first year and a half, 2 years, she went down 8 o'clock ish every.
You don't tie her ankles together?
Every night. Well, I might have to
Hog
start.
tie.
I can't say that on camera. We do that. No. Yeah, when she was about a year.
You just did.
Yeah, a year and a half, 2 years old, when she could get out, that's when the sleep. Before that, it was identical to what you said. Put her down 8-ish, she'd go right to bed, sleep all night.
We have no idea how lucky we are that hasn't happened.
It's coming. You're not out of the woods.
She will eventually, when she starts to climb out, it's a whole new phase then.
Ooh, new product idea. Crib barbed wire.
Like a prison. Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
put some bars over the top. I mean,
Yeah, crib barbed wire.
Or we could
around
find
the
a
edge,
way
like
to
fence.
utilize the toddler tantrum to hook it up to an electric fence.
There you
Toddler
go.
tantrum. You mean the toddler taser?
Toddler taser. I'm sorry.
I like I purchased one of those also.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah,
Toddler
it's good.
tasers?
Yeah.
Did you get the pro?
I did. I
Okay,
did.
that's good.
I wasn't going to skip
That comes with a better warranty.
Yeah, we got teen tasers too for Tanner. Just
Yeah. Well, that one hadn't. I bought that too. It's shipped. I hadn't got it yet though. Seriously though, man, she was when she's. It was like, we're like, oh, this is easy. It was like cake work. 8 o'clock, 8:30.
Yep.
She's gone to sleep until 7 o'clock the next morning. Life was easy.
Yeah,
And
never had
as
an
soon as
easy
she
night.
got out the crib, that was the end of that.
Did you watch the first episode that we had?
Yes.
So you saw my daughter
Yes.
crawl out?
Yes.
That's exactly when she started to do
Yep.
what she's doing right now, which is going through
Yep.
this little regression, and it is hell.
we never had to sleep through the night. Honestly, we could probably count on less than 10 fingers in 3 years how many times she slept through the night. And
Oh,
she,
really?
like, yeah, she'll wake up. We don't always have to go in there. And when I say, honestly, I work, my wife stayed at home. She's always just taking charge with this. And so she's just on it.
We know.
Yeah. I mean, I would.
Yeah. She won't let me.
Yeah. So I hope this comes across about me bragging or showing appreciation to my wife and not being a sexist prick. So
we're gonna go with option B.
Okay, I'll be better at it. I'll practice in between episodes. But yeah, she's always just been on top of that, and for a while now, like she doesn't always go in there. Like normally she'll just look at the monitor and kind of like let her just get through it and fall back asleep. That'll happen a lot. So, but yeah, she wakes up like noisy as hell right off the bat in the middle of the night out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. Often.
Yeah, Iris didn't do that. Like once she went down, that was it. She was gone to the next morning.
You.
And she's that same way now. The problem is she's not going down until like 10:30.
There's a trade-off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how she is. She would take a nap. If she took a nap during the day, she would sleep well at night at like a normal time, but she'd wake up super early. Now the trade-off is she goes to sleep a little later, but she gets up at like 7 instead of 6.
Doesn't want to get ready.
But she climbs out of the bed.
Yep.
Out of the crib and just comes down to our room now.
That would really trouble me. Like we barely have one TV show together a night, and if my kids are falling asleep like after 10, I just with the way I have to wake up at work, I'd never be able to spend any time with my wife.
Dude, we try to watch a show, and it's the same thing. My wife is like you just as soon as you hit the bed, you're out.
No, I'm not like that.
Okay.
Actually, my wife still falls asleep often before I do, but I'm in bed before like 8 o'clock most nights.
Yeah. She asked me last night, she's like, do you want to watch the new episode of The Last of Us? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. Didn't realize that it...
Do you fight that you're falling asleep?
Huh?
So, like, my wife is in insane denial that she's falling asleep as she's falling asleep every single time she's falling asleep. Oh, I'm good.
Why do they do that? Why don't they just accept it that they're narcoleptic?
That's one of the qualifications of being a wife. It must be, because mine's the same way.
You know how many times, like, the next day we go to start where we left off, and like, you didn't see this yet? I'm rewinding an episode.
Every single time.
And I'm watching 15 minutes of an episode I already watched.
Yep.
And it's not like I didn't notice she was asleep. I pointed it out to her 3 times. Said, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
And then we got to rewatch.
I usually just give like a quick little like on the cheek since she's like this, just and then just keep watching. I'm like, you didn't fall asleep.
You keep watching the episodes of Tyler?
Yeah, I've gotten to the point where I used to stop because it's like, oh, okay, well, it'll be easy to pick up, where we're at. But it's like, you told me that you were watching it, and I'm watching it, so you can fill in the blanks.
Seems petty.
Well.
You can fill in the blanks tomorrow. No, I mean, she usually watches a bunch of stuff like in the back. Well, probably not now. Harpy is very demanding of the television. She's got to have her Boss Baby.
Yeah.
Bob Baby.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Have you seen the show?
No, but I put on the movie for a couple times.
It's great.
My girl's going nuts about the squirrel from Ice Age. I guess there's some shows where squirrels like time traveling.
Oh, not Sid. What is his name?
I don't know. The squirrel.
He's got a name.
He had a name?
Scrant.
Really?
Scrant or Scrat? I think it's Scrat.
I think it's Scrat.
I think I'm going to be okay with
something weird.
Either one. I mean, it's funny. I find it funny when we watch it. So, yeah.
My This Week in Dadding is the positive side that my daughter finally, towards the end of the day, wants to watch some shit that I'm actually interested in, which is the nature stuff. Because that's all I ever want to watch on. Like, if I'm pulling up something on Netflix, I want to watch a documentary, or I want to watch something cool that's filmed really well, like a nature documentary.
You sound boring.
I mean, I watch like horror films and stuff, but not with my kids. So when I'm by myself, I watch things like that. I watch a lot of true crime
could
stuff.
like border on a horror movie at times.
They do.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention last night, and so I threw on I think it was Our Planet 2, and the opening scene was a bunch of lions killing a wildebeest. And Harper's sitting there with a bottle, and they're just ripping it apart. I'm like, look at the cute kitties.
She's ripped apart all her dolls.
They're having supper.
Yeah. But no, that's an exciting thing for me, because I feel like she's finally getting to that phase where, like, I don't got to hear Miss Rachel all day. I don't got to hear
I don't ever want to hear Miss Rachel again.
I can't stand The insanity, like I feel like I'm just watching a recording of a crazy person.
Yeah, I will find a sword, shove it into the wall, and then run into it if I have to hear another episode of CoComelon.
And I'm sorry, Miss Rachel. I'm sure you have to understand almost every parent reaches this point of watching your show.
You did your job for the first year and a half, and we're very proud of you.
It's for the kids.
But seriously, shut the up.
I don't ever want to hear you speak again.
It could be intentional. She's probably thinking, you you're going to listen to me.
So, all right. So, Matt, anything you can think of, especially with a 3 going on 4-year-old, there's got to be something good that happened this past week in dating.
No, not really. No, I'm just kidding.
She's so boring.
She's learning to ride her bicycle.
Really?
Yeah. Obviously with training wheels. I mean,
then I'm not that impressed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we haven't sent her down the street full blast yet.
10 speed?
Thought it was cool.
Five speed. Yeah, she's learning how to ride her bike. She does not have pegs. She's not doing tricks from the Rad movie yet. Do you guys know the Rad movie?
It's the second time it's been brought up.
It did get brought up.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, of course Cameron brought it up.
Well.
Yeah, because Cameron went to the 90th anniversary.
Yeah, he's in the Rad fan club, I think.
Yeah.
President of the
I used to
Rad
love that
movie
movie
fan
when I
club.
was younger. Yeah, she's not doing any Rad tricks yet, but that's her new thing this week. She's learning to ride her bicycle.
All right,
She likes it.
That's gonna be fun. Hey, since we all got kids in like the toddler age, like, what was like the first jaw-dropping, oh my god, this kid is disgusting thing you can remember? I'll go first. Playground, muddy puddle on the slide, and I turned around and she was drinking it.
Oh, ouch.
She's disgusting. What do you...
I'm going to put a little graphic up every time we say it. She's disgusting. Well, I mean,
everybody had the digging through the diaper stuff.
It
can't be the normal.
Yeah.
Mine has happened more than once, but when she in the tub, it's disgusting.
That is disgusting. That's a fairly normal thing.
It is very normal.
Does your wife have a complete blind spot with anything that's gross? She's gonna get mad at me for telling this story.
No.
Like it's our child. Like nothing is gross that comes from her child.
Oh no.
No.
She's
Really?
disgusted by quite a bit.
No.
Yeah, so my wife is completely grossed out if I wash my little dog in the sink, which I don't do anymore. I did it once, and it was painstaking to get her to sit through it. I felt bad watching what it did to her, having to look at that. That was so gross in her mind. When our daughter in the tub, I had to stop her from walking to the bathroom with our colander from... I'm like, are you gonna scoop poop with what we drain our pasta with? And she just like it didn't even realize. She just laughed and immediately realized how gross it was, but like turned around. It never ended up in the tub. We did, but what happens when I'm not at home?
Is that the first time that colander had been used for that?
It's found its way around a turd before.
Yeah, so boogers, which makes me puke.
Really?
Oh, my daughter like sneezed on me. When she was like still in the carrier, like booger on her nose. I had to use my shirt to wipe it off her, and I had to walk like I knew it was like right here on my sleeve, and I had to walk like this because she was here, and I was gonna throw up on her, and I had to walk back to the house.
Ugh.
I'm pretty unfazed by boogers, but
I find it. It doesn't bother me as much. Honestly.
Dude,
boogers are so gross.
There's some rough ones, like at the younger age.
Yeah.
When they get like some of the seedy.
Matt, when did you look at your daughter and think, I'm surprised by how disgusting toddlers are?
That probably wasn't until she was 3.
Okay.
Honestly, she's just
What'd
messy.
she do?
She's just messy. I mean, she's not.
She's untidy. That's a gross story.
No.
She ever like shit up her back? You never had one of those?
No, when she was really young.
Like the poop ramps?
When she was really young, but see, I can't. If it's like coming out the diaper, I can't do that.
Yeah, those are the rough ones.
No, I can't. I can do a lot of stuff. I can't handle that though.
And it's always the worst too, because you see like that.
Yeah,
the little yellow part where it's like really extending past where it's supposed to. You ever gotten those yet?
I've seen her blow out a diaper before when she was really young. I remember that. We bought different diapers once. And I couldn't tell you what diapers they were. I wish I could, so I can warn everyone out there. But apparently when you mix urine with these diapers, they turn to the most disgusting smell. and I went to change her once in the morning.
Probably the parent choice ones.
I don't know what. I honestly don't know what they were. We didn't even finish using them, but I got out of crib and I went to change her, and when I opened the diaper, I started instantly dry heaving, and like I had the changing table. I was keeping my head under the changing table so I wouldn't puke on her, and I was like, ugh! And I was literally yelling, "Help! Ugh! Help!" And my wife ran out like, I can't. Like, and I don't know what it was, but yeah. Anyway.
Well, my daughter has gotten to the age where she thinks it's interesting if we're talking about gross stuff because she doesn't know the difference.
Yeah, we know it's not their fault.
She eats a lot of corn. She eats a lot of corn. She loves corn.
Okay,
So
I think I might know where this is going.
So now when she gets up from the toilet, she wants to point out the corn. So, oh, look, there's corn here and corn. I'm like, don't touch it. Stop.
Yeah.
Don't get away from it.
It tastes better the second time?
Yeah, no, step back. Just step back.
Well, you just use the strainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell your mom go get the
Don't
colander.
throw that. That's some good corn. Second harvest.
This is also completely off topic, but how is corn always still attached? Like I feel like I chew up my corn pretty well,
It's one of life's mysteries.
and then it finds its way into a turd, and it's like, surprise! Here's a whole kernel.
And it looks like it just come out off of the cob right out of a
It's
can.
like clean.
I like corn, and I won't eat it for that reason alone. If you're not going to turn to shit, why am I even eating you?
Yeah.
Grumpy old men, corn.
Good argument.
Nah, corn tastes good. I just don't really. There's so many things I like better than corn. I don't eat it much. Yeah.
And you also have to have like a pound of butter in it to really like get it to be enjoyable.
Pound of butter, pound of salt, and at that point, it's probably one of the worst things.
Yes,
possible.
absolutely.
So-
Started healthy.
All right, we almost made this easy on you. We'll do one last segment, the grumpy old men.
Yep.
So, Matt, the point of grumpy old men is what things are starting to aggravate you, and because they aggravate you, you're starting to realize you're getting old.
Does everything count?
Yes.
That's might be the best answer.
I mean, that's. I don't know that I can pinpoint one thing.
Yes, you can.
No,
You only have to name one.
I feel like I'm grumpy. I don't know. I'm grumpy anyway.
First thing off the top of your head that you're just like, you know what I saw today that really made me want to just punch young children?
Oh, specifically to children. Kid not listening.
Sounds like I specifically want to punch.
I
children.
was trying to steer him in a direction.
Yeah. Not. I don't know. My kid doesn't listen. That annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Whose kid does listen to them?
I mean, I feel like I know people that their kids listen, and mine just doesn't.
And you just like look at them and you're like,
Wait, which one though? You're not talking about the 3-year-old, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about the 3-year-old.
No,
yeah.
3-year people have 3-year-olds that listen to them?
Yes. I had a 3-year-old that listened 11, 12 years ago. This one does not. That's the other thing. They're completely opposite.
My daughter, not only does she not listen, but like if you tell her not to do something, she almost does this to me. I'm like,
Well, I mean, that's
Harper just says no, but it's like really sweet, and she doesn't know any better. It's like she doesn't know how to say yes.
yeah.
So you're like, hey, do you want to go? You want to go get ready for bed? She just goes, no.
Yeah.
You're like,
Oh, and the other thing, if you tell mine not to do something, she always
Immediately.
Well, she wants to rationalize it. She'll say, "I tell you something," and does like this and comes to your ear, to act like she's going to whisper it to you. Like she wants to explain why she's not going to do what you just told her not to do. She's trying to make a logic out of it. I don't know.
All right. That definitely counts under the grumpy old men.
It does.
So far, ours have been more like societal and just things going on.
yeah.
Yeah.
I meant like I was trying to steer you in the direction of squatted trucks, but that's okay.
Oh well,
Yeah.
that annoys everybody, doesn't it?
The people who drive pickup trucks in general are just all tool bags. And it might not be every single one of them, because I imagine you both...
What do you think about that?
Yeah. So, all right. 99% of the time when there's an asshole driver pissing me off on the road, he's driving a pickup truck.
Like any kind of truck.
I don't know. I don't pay enough attention to him. It's just like...
What kind of truck do you drive, Joe?
Point and case. I rest my case.
Yeah.
So that wasn't going to be my grumpy old men. Mine was going to be people who give a shit about which way you put a toilet paper roll on.
You still on that?
It's the stupidest argument.
thought we moved
Get
on
a
from
real
that.
problem.
You know, my grumpy old man is
What?
that people who hold grudges and don't just let go.
Am I the first Irish person you met?
No, I do have a. Is that
200-year war?
Is that your grumpy old man?
That's what I was thinking. That this trend of I was today years old when I learned, and it's like some useless. Like we're opening bananas the wrong way. People that are posting videos about solving problems that don't exist. Like they show a monkey holding the top of the banana as a handle and peeling it from the bottom. That's how we should be doing it. Like monkeys also throw their semen at each other.
They throw shit. Do they throw semen at each other?
Yeah. They yank one out and they throw it at spectators. Should we be doing that too? I've been off the wrong way.
You guys don't do that?
Where do you find spectators?
All right. Mine is partially because I'm a musician, but it's making you already know it's coming. I can't stand turning on the radio now. It's making me so mad every time I turn on the radio and I hear no musician. It's all computerized.
Yeah.
And it makes me so mad. But like I listen to like a lot of probably like processed like metal. Like it's all like there's some heavy
Pedals,
production going on,
yeah.
but there's somebody playing the guitar, there's somebody playing the drums, there's somebody playing the bass, there's
they
somebody
might like
singing.
double and triple track the vocals, but yeah.
But for what it's worth, there's a lot of musicianship in that. And now like everything that is winning all of these awards is some fucker in a basement on a computer.
Even
Just makes.
And here I am trying to do the same thing and not succeeding.
even 90s hip hop, you could break down to drum, bass, guitar, and you can cover those songs. You couldn't even. And today's rap is just it's paint by numbers. It's like your syllables are going to go into this rhythm.
Yep.
You're gonna.
You have 4 bars before you get to a hook. Then everything's so just like an algorithm now, and I cannot stand it. And I almost every time I get in the car after my wife has taken our family car and the radio's on, I almost like break the.
I don't know the last time I've listened to the radio.
I can't.
What do you listen to? Podcast?
Yeah, I got the Apple Music app. Like I listen to music, but it's my music that I picked out.
Yeah.
So I like the Essentials playlists on that. Queen has a good Essentials playlist.
Yeah.
John Mayer Essentials gets played.
Oh God, John Mayer's on my grumpy old man. I f***ing hate him.
Why?
I am I the one?
No.
I've never gotten past that.
Well,
So-
I feel I'm probably the grumpiest one then because you guys had specific things. Like everything annoys the shit out of me.
I mean, everything annoys the shit out of me too, but that was the one thing that I thought of today coming back was listening to my own music, and then for some reason my Bluetooth wouldn't stay connected in my car. I don't know if I had too much going on. I was trying to listen to the podcast and make sure we didn't f*** anything up. And it was doing that, and I guess my navigation, and then it disconnected, and the radio came on, and I almost wrecked.
That is a good one. My grumpy old man is going to be I hate Bluetooth in cars.
Oh yeah,
because it does not work like it's supposed to.
and it's delayed.
If it worked like it was supposed to, it would be amazing, but it doesn't.
Voice texting is going to kill me one day.
Dude, AirPlay with like if you're trying to watch something, like say you're just sitting in your
While
car.
driving?
No, I'm being specific here. If you're sitting in the parking lot and you're just like trying to kill time, which I do a lot because I have to wait on people pretty often, or when I'm getting food or something like that, eating lunch. There's like a 3-second delay.
The delay.
So it's like I'm always watching something that's over.
I turn off my Bluetooth if that happens. I've had that happen. Yeah.
Oh, I can't turn it off fast enough if that happens.
I don't even turn on my Bluetooth in my car most of the time now because it's just annoying.
Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, thank you, Matt. That was a lot of fun.
I appreciate it, guys. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
And really, really cool to hear about that. Just solving a big problem. I don't know how else to put it, but that was awesome. So cool.
All right.
Good job.
I'm glad you guys had me.